Started with UConn. They're going to take on Penn. Gino's team headed for the three-peat.
39-0, Connecticut is perfect. Huskies win back-to-back national championships.
A capacity crowd of better than 9,000 has packed the arena at Harbor Yard to the rafters here in Bridgeport, Connecticut tonight. And the reason why the Connecticut Huskies, the two-time defending national champions, are ready to begin their quest for a possible third consecutive national title as they take on the champions of the Ivy League, the Penn Quakers. Already here tonight, Auburn advanced with a convincing win over NC State. Houston and UCSB have also won on this side of the East region. Hi, everybody. Dan Shulman and Doris Burke with you. And as mentioned, UConn's drive for a third consecutive national title begins tonight. How do you like this team and where they are heading into the tournament?
Well, they've got the best player in the country, one of the best coaches in the country. They come in with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. First time since 1998 that they are not a #1 seed. They can get to New Orleans without leaving their home state.
No 15 has ever beaten a 2, and the Penn Quakers are aware of that. We're talking about on the women's side. We had a chance to ride on the bus a little bit with Penn as they came from their hotel about 20 minutes away. Obviously, this is exciting for them as the champs of the Ivy League, their first televised game in 3 years. Here's Coach Kelly Greenberg.
It's a lifetime experience. I mean, we get to play in front of 8,000 people tonight, and they'll all be screaming for the other team. And it's just going to teach our players a lot, like how to handle adversity. We expect UConn to go on some big runs. How are we going to respond to that? So whether it's basketball related or lifetime experience, we just need to figure out how to respond to some things and make sure we play Penn basketball our way.
It's their second ever trip to the NCAA tournament. Their first one came 3 years ago. Obviously, this is a monumental task for Penn if they're going to try to knock off one of the top teams in the country in Connecticut. Jewel Clark is their best player. Jennifer Fleischer at 6'3", a sophomore from New Hartford, New York, gives them some size on the inside to try to counter all the size that Connecticut has, but Connecticut has more than size. As fans of women's basketball know, they're as dangerous and talented a team, and they've got everybody back from last year. They've had some injuries this year. They did lose 4 games, but they are still one of the elite teams in all of college basketball. As we take a look at our Star Watch, beginning with Jewel Clark, an outstanding performer, Doris, for Penn.
Don Nelson coined the term point forward, and for Kelly Greenberg, Jewel Clark does a little bit of everything. And Diana Taurasi, her health has been an issue all season, ankle and back issues that have slowed her production of late. But the Big East Player of the Year, 157 points through 6 games in the NCAA last season. Can she match that kind of effort? We'll see. It's hard to comprehend unless you're here in person to experience it, what the media coverage, what the fan following, the autographs, the practice sessions, what all of these things are like for the University of Connecticut, whether you're talking about men's basketball or women's basketball. But as we said a little bit in our first game tonight, there was an open practice here yesterday. There were 5,000 people here to watch Diana Taurasi and the rest of the Huskies practice. And as one of the assistant coaches said to you yesterday, every time they made a basket, every time they made a layup or a jump shot, everybody got up and cheered. But that's the kind of following that this team has in this state. No professional sports franchise, so the men's and women's program operate in a fishbowl, and they've got to be able to perform under pressure on a daily basis. Everybody standing here in Bridgeport, Connecticut in white, Penn in blue. And we are underway with UConn getting the opening possession. Taurasi with the ball, number 3, the reigning player of the year in women's college basketball. Remains to be seen whether she will duplicate that effort. That'll be announced a little bit later on. There's a jumper for Jessica Moore, the junior out of Palmer, Alaska, and an early lead for the Huskies. Now Penn came out in a man-to-man defense, and Palmer very capable from 15 feet. Jewel Clark misses a 3, and the rebound to Moore. And Strother leading the Huskies back up the floor. Now, Jessica Moore has improved each and every season in a Connecticut Husky uniform. Barbara Turner can't find a way to the basket, so she dumps it off. 15 on the shot clock. Now Strother, she'll launch a 3, and the rebound to Fleischer. In the last 10 years, Connecticut has won their first round game by an average of 48 points. A true
A statement to the dominance of their program, along with Tennessee and a couple of others in recent years. Now a turnover committed by Amanda Thomas, the point guard for Penn. And back comes Maria Conlon from Derby, Connecticut. So extra special for her to play an NCAA tournament game here in her home state. Left alone again. Moore, a little bit strong, gets the rebound. Swing the ball over to Taurasi on the wing. And it's out of bounds off Penn. Gino Auriemma, his 19th season as head coach at the University of Connecticut. 4 national championships. And just a week shy of his 50th birthday. He'll celebrate that. Presumably, if they get that far, he'll celebrate that at the regionals next weekend, which, by the way, are at the Hartford Civic Center. So life is pretty good right now for UConn. Of course, they got to go out and win the games, but in terms of location, it couldn't have worked out any better. Taurasi knocks down a jumper, 4-0 UConn.
Well, she's the entire package. Can score with great range, can go off the dribble, though she doesn't elect to do that often. The mid-range game is there. An exceptional passer.
And like her counterpart on the men's side, Emeka Okafor, dealing with a back situation that has certainly hindered her at times this year, although neither she nor the program have too much to say about it. She's playing through it. This is, of course, Taurasi's senior season. Now posting up inside. 8-footer. No good. And another rebound for Fleischer, who's going to have to be awfully strong on the glass for Penn here tonight. Penn in the tournament 3 years ago, lost their first round game then. This is just their second ever appearance in the NCAA tournament. And a deep three for Mikaelyn Austen, a 5'8" senior out of San Diego. And the Quakers are back within a point. Taurasi looking inside for Turner, who's having to work really hard to get position against Jewel Clark, who is the best player that Penn has. Now Moore, another jumper, and she is 1 for 3. Penn down by 1 with the ball. 3 minutes in here in Bridgeport, Connecticut. First round game out of the East region. Number 2 seed UConn and the 15th seed Penn. Taurasi with a great look ahead for Barbara Turner, who had that shot deflected from behind.
Well, great run out by UConn, but an even better recovery.
And through the first 3 minutes and change, the Quakers are hanging in right now with UConn down just a point. Thomas. Back rim. Fleischer keeps it alive. Saved by Jewel Clark, but into the hands of Taurasi.
One of the things you have to worry about with Connecticut is their scoring runs. They can put it on you in a hurry.
Barbara Turner with an easy 2 on the assist from Taurasi. Thomas looking over to Kelly Greenberg, her head coach, for a set of instructions. There is no 10-second rule in women's basketball, so you can take as much time as you want getting it up over the midcourt line, and Thomas did right there. Giving up just a ton of size in the matchup to Taurasi. Another 3, the second of the game for Mikaelyn Austen, and that ties it.
A very strong guard who can obviously stick the 3 with great consistency. Has struggled through part of this season, 28%.
Turner spins right into the double team, but she draws the foul. Kelly Greenberg, the head coach at Penn, 5th year as the head coach, and both of their NCAA tournament appearances have come under her watch. And Greenberg, by the way, played at LaSalle when LaSalle beat Gino Auriemma's UConn Huskies in the first round of the NCAA tournament 13 years ago. Gino's got a little more at his disposal now than he had then.
That's for sure.
Turner at the line for Connecticut. 1 of 2 and another rebound for Fleischer. Already her 5th of the game. She averages 9.6. Couple of 3s so far from Austen. Looking for the back door. Austen taps it out to Fleischer. And look at Thomas at 5'7" in there battling for the offensive rebound.
What you hope for if you're Penn is for your players to be composed early and not intimidated. For Kelly Greenberg, that's exactly what they've gotten through the first 5 minutes of this basketball game.
Obviously, absolutely no pressure on them. Nobody in America expects them to be able to win this game playing against a team like UConn. Moore drives and scores. Jessica Moore now with 6, and she will go to the line as well.
Yeah, this is just a young woman who's drained a 15-foot jump shot. This time the defender goes out. She elects to go off the bounce. He just sees the lane and takes great use of it.
Shot a very impressive 61% on the season, which is better than she does from the line, 53%. And you can see the unusual setup, turned almost sideways. Gets the bounce, and she's got 7 already. Penn down by 4, 5 minutes in. Early 4-point lead for the Huskies here in Bridgeport, Connecticut. As we alluded to yesterday, there was an open practice as mandated by the NCAA here in Bridgeport. Better than 5,000 people showed up to root on the Huskies. And, of course, their #1 source of affection, Diana Taurasi.
Is there a game today?
That's a good question she asked. Is there a game today? Sure felt like there was, with thousands of people here in the building. But this is the microscope under which the Connecticut women's basketball and men's basketball program, both basketball programs exist. And Doris, I would think, for the most part, it's all upside. I mean, everybody loves you and everybody's very interested in what you're doing, but there's also got to be a little bit of pressure because of all the scrutiny.
I think on a daily basis there is as much pressure on these young women as perhaps there is in the country. I mean, this is a different program in terms of every game being on television, whether it's CPTV or national television audience.
Well, contrast that to Penn. This is their first televised game of any kind in 3 years since they were last in the NCAA tournament, whereas for the UConn women, it's just the way it goes.
Yeah, for the coaching staff, I mean, they took some criticism. As everyone knows, Connecticut bows out of the Big East Championship in a loss to Boston College in semifinals of Gino Auriemma. They were on spring break. Their kids showed up at the championship game and did not look pleased to be there. He was inundated with emails and letters and phone calls, you know, sort of saying, you know, why did they look the way they looked at the Big East Championship? We said, well, why do you think? You know, they expect to be playing in that basketball game.
Maria Conlon goes out. Barbara Turner at the line, having just knocked down the first. Ashley Battle, a junior out of Pittsburgh, has come in to replace Conlon, the starter with the point. Five-point lead, Connecticut. 5.5 minutes in here in Bridgeport. The arena at Harbor Yard. The winner to face Auburn, our first game winner tonight. They beat NC State. Thomas being just hounded by Taurasi at every turn. Austen knows she's got a couple of threes, accounting for all the Penn points so far. Now the Huskies on the break. Strother over to Battle. Here comes the screen by Moore. Battle's going to try to go the other way. Great defensive player, Battle. Moore whips a pass into the corner. Taurasi inside to Turner. Baseline jumper is good. And Connecticut really sharing the basketball on offense right now.
Well, a lot of patience displayed there. Barbara Turner, as versatile a player as there is. Good back to the basket skills.
Austen from the corner. And the rebound to Battle. Connecticut with a size advantage at every spot with the exception of the center position.
Penn with 2 quick shot opportunities. I would think they'd want to be a little bit more patient, use some clock.
Moore is fouled inside by Thomas.
Turner an outstanding one-on-one player, whether she's facing up or in this case she elects to go back to the basket, create space, uses the up fake to get the defender off her feet, and a good touch from 6 feet.
Well, during conference play, actually, as Taurasi struggled a little bit and she's dealt with some injuries, it was Turner who led the team in scoring. And Turner's a sophomore, so she's got a couple of good years ahead of her under Gino Auriemma's watch. And Strother just a sophomore as well, so even though Taurasi and a couple of others are departing, the cupboard is far from bare. Nice spin move, but Turner can't finish there. And the foul's going to go against the Huskies. Steely glare from Auriemma and a big groan from this capacity crowd of about 9,000 people here in Bridgeport tonight. Jewel Clark will inbound it for Penn. She averages almost 20 points per game, but has missed her first couple of attempts here tonight.
Nearly a double-double. Good trap there.
And it results in a steal. Lynette Crockett coming up with the ball for UConn. Now Conley hands it off. Taurasi whips a pass inside again. Crockett having trouble hanging on to it, but what a lucky bounce over to Turner for the easy two. And it's a 9-0 run right now for UConn. Joey Rhodes on the floor now for Penn, number 11, just 5'4", but a member of the Ivy's all-rookie team. Jewel Clark is fouled inside.
Now, there have been several possessions where Clark doesn't touch the basketball. This is a player who's almost getting 20 a game. And so fortunately able to come up with it here. Looks like an awful lot of ball for Crockett.
Clark is a senior out of Waldorf, Maryland, and averages, as you can see, almost 20 points per game, among league leaders in virtually every offensive category in the Ivy League. And maybe just that first point, she can take a deep breath now and relax, knowing how much her team is relying on her tonight. Austen has returned. She's knocked down a couple of threes early for the Quakers. And Jessica Moore has returned to the game now for Connecticut. Taurasi leading Connecticut back up the floor. Penn struggling from the field, having every shot contested, as Taurasi just uses that left arm to discard Joey Rhodes. Inside, Crockett is fouled. And as this game gets a little more physical, that figures to play into Connecticut's hands as well.
A little bit more depth off the bench. Crockett, an outstanding post player and one of the better passers you'll ever see. Taurasi looks right, passes left. Crockett, the quick first step, attacking the defender. And Crockett's health was at issue early in the season. An ankle injury prohibited her from participating early. I think she is key to their hopes for a back-to-back-to-back three-peat.
That's one of the things, again, that should be pointed out about the UConn team. They lost 4 games, which is probably more than many of their fans expected them to lose this year, with everybody back from last year. But with Crockett out early and Taurasi not healthy and Nicole Wolf not playing at all with an injury, I mean, this team has dealt with some injuries and adversity this season. And to come through at 25-4, nothing too shabby about that. The 3 won't go for Kat Makarowicz. She's a Connecticut native out of New Fairfield. Tomorrow, ESPN's exclusive coverage of the NCAA Women's Championship continues with more regional action from the second round at 7 Eastern on both networks. On ESPN, it's Chattanooga. They pulled off the upset over Rutgers yesterday. They'll take on Vandy, TCU, and Georgia as well. On ESPN2, Ohio State and Boston College. Regional action tomorrow at 7. ESPN, your exclusive home for the entire NCAA Women's Championship.
Well, Sandora Irvin, one of the outstanding post players for TCU, and Jeff Mitty, but she'll go up against a formidable front line from Georgia.
Here's Rhodes. Right now she has Turner on her. Turner's about 9 inches taller than Rhodes is. Tough pull-up by Austen. Wide left, and the rebound to Conley.
Boy, Austen not shy. It seems like every time she's touched the basketball, she's been aggressive.
And she's the only player with a made field goal for Penn so far in this game. Strother looking inside. Turner. Taken away by Jewel Clark. Clark looking to go the distance. She'll get it.
Can score in a lot of different ways. That time coast to coast.
And Strother going coast to coast the other way. And the lead is back up to 9 for Connecticut. And Strother not completely healthy either, with a right foot problem that she is playing through. And Taurasi playing with back and ankle problems. Rhodes. And an air ball on the shot from Monica Naultner will send us to a timeout. So Connecticut up by 9 early going.
Timeout, and UConn has been impressive in the early going.
Well, I'm telling you, I can't wait to see if Diana Taurasi averages 26 points in the NCAA tournament. You know, that's pretty amazing that you can go into the tournament and all of a sudden you just turn it to another volume. But that's what she does. She is a great player. It's going to be interesting to see how she does in this tournament.
Right now they're up 25-12, and it's because of their defense. We always talk about their offense. I think they're finally getting recognition for the defense that they play.
Stacey, can you imagine what their practices have been like these last 2 weeks?
Dan Shulman and Doris Burke will fill us in on what the game's been like. 25-12, Huskies on top.
Connecticut 25 and Penn 12, under 9 minutes to go here in Bridgeport, Connecticut, as Joey Rhodes launches a three. Dan Shulman and Doris Burke with you here with the arena at Harbor Yard. As Ann Strother misses a short jumper, one of the few misses recently for UConn. They have been very precise offensively. Great passing, sharing the basketball, good patience, and getting a lot of inside looks, a lot of layups against the champions of the Ivy League, the Penn Quakers.
Yeah, Penn at times quick shooting the basketball. Better job here. Shoot it with 10 seconds left. And that's a pretty good look. I mean, you cannot complain about that shot.
Taurasi with a no-look 30-foot pass to Ann Strother for yet another layup. And Taurasi with just 2 points in the early going, but content right now to play the role of distributor, a role that she plays very well.
Well, 5th all-time in scoring, but you got to believe there have been nights where she has, you know, simply set her offensive side. Offensive game aside. Wow.
And now Taurasi after the hard foul, helping Kat Makarowicz back up. Makarowicz is from New Fairfield, Connecticut, so she's probably got some people here that watched her take a tumble. 15-point lead for the 2-time defending national champion UConn Huskies, and they look like they're in great postseason form here in the early going.